Hello, everybody. So I want to explain how I made collards from straight from the garden, right? I got this. So when I started planting, I didn't use a proper bed. I just used this decorative stuff. Anyway, I didn't buy collards. I got kale, spinach, and lettuce, but I don't know how it ended up being collard. So a friend came by on Sunday. For my own head, I was thinking it was even cabbage or something like that, or broccoli. She was like, "Oh, this is collard greens." I'm like, "Okay, what?" Okay, I went online. I checked it out. What did it look like and everything? I'm like, "Okay." I just hope this was real collard greens. Anyways, at this point, I'm not really sure. I haven't planted collard greens before, so I wasn't sure what it looked like. But late last night, I went to check it out, and I'm like, okay, the next morning I'm gonna get this out. So let's cook this. I already got it rinsed it, did some washing, get out all the sand and dust, what have you, and those little crickets. I'm not gonna waste any tree leaf. I know some of them are eating some of them, but I'm using it. So this knife here, right here, this knife is blunt. Jeez. I just manage it. Anyways, but normally based on vegetables, it depends on what I'm doing. Some of them I like to cut them real big, some I cut them tiny. We used to have one vegetable called ugu. I think it's called pumpkin leaves. Not the pumpkin here, but it's called pumpkin leaves in Africa. Anyways, that one you cut is very tiny, but you need sharp knife. This knife, nah. This knife isn't doing the job, but whatever. It's still cutting it, so we can manage that. We work with this. Then after I transferred it into another plastic. Um, Sometimes I rinse it after I rinse it again, but then I'm added hot water. Some people don't do this step. If you don't do this step, you will have more water in your vegetables. But when you do this step, it takes out a lot of the liquid in the vegetable. That way, yeah. So this might add red pepper, habanero pepper, garlic, ginger, onion. Sometimes you use tomatoes. I just wanted to skip tomato in this one because I didn't want it. I had another method I wanted to use for cooking this one, so I didn't want to use tomatoes. When you use tomatoes, you have to make sure the pepper dries out. Sometimes you have to boil it to dry. I didn't want to do that process, but with red bell pepper, it cooks, it dries out on time. You don't really need too much processing. So I'm using cow skin, dried fish, these locust beans. I'm using cube salt, palm oil mixed with groundnut oil, crayfish, onion. That's chopped onion right there. So I got into my hot pot, pouring my oil and palm oil, make it sizzle a bit. When it brings out the fragrance more, right? But I don't really like making it too hot because some people do it, then everybody's coughing in the house. Then you add when it's hot enough, add your diced onion into it. Let it just bring out the fragrance, right? Make it some maybe 1 minute or two. I like to add my crayfish at this point. It brings the whole aroma in the house. You need to smell it. At this point, everywhere is smelling heavenly. So it brings out the fragrance of the crayfish too. This is the grounded dry crayfish. I do that. I don't know. I don't time it. I'm sorry, maybe a minute. Then this is locust bean, fermented locust bean. They call it iru in Nigeria. So we added this to brings out the fragrance. Woo! You need to smell the house. You'll be so hungry. Honestly, at this point, I do that for maybe another 1 minute. Then I had the dried fish. This has already been soaked. I like to do that. Everything is just to bring out the fragrance. It gives it another kind of taste and like that kind of smell. Oh, I'm telling you, try this. If you try this method, you can tell me the difference, right? After this, I put the cow skin. I didn't see a lot. I just whatever I had in the freezer was what I used. So some people use more than this, a lot. They put in a lot more, like meat and the others. But then I added my pepper. Because I didn't use the tomato one. This is gonna cook on time. Sometimes you can do. Some people do all this after you add the onion. They put in the pepper before they put in the meat and everything. But like I said, there are many ways to cook this soup. Many different ways, several ways. But it's just one method. I just wanted to use for this. Then you start stirring, cook. At least in another 5 minutes, it will be okay, right? it will be fine in another 5 minutes. So I just keep stirring because I don't want it to get burnt because I was cooking on high. Sometimes if you take your eyes away, then you are going to end up eating burnt offering. you know so you just keep doing this until you feel the pepper is cooked enough. Like I said, you can use 5 minutes. So after this, I added the salt and the cube. For people who love gloves, sorry, I've been cooking for 30 years now, more than that. I don't use gloves. I'm used to cooking this way. Our hands are already washed anyway. Washed. This was the way that we were taught. Okay, you can use your gloves if you want, though. So you just after I added the salt, some people can put the salt before now. Okay, now I'm adding my vegetables when I feel it's cooked enough. I'm putting my vegetables, and sometimes you can cover it. Sometimes you don't leave it. If you let it steam, the vegetable would, what do I call? It's gonna shrink in size. It's gonna shrink in size, and then you can stir it in. So I just let it cook for a bit, stir it in. Some people don't even let it cook. After 1 minute, they're done. Okay, 1 minute. You don't really need to, because you already did the hot water phase, right? So all I'm doing right here is just combining everything. Look how beautiful this looking. That why you chop the tomato to be like big, is so that you can see it in the vegetable, right? So you can see the chunks, little chunks here and there. It gives you that beautiful color. You see your pepper, everything looking out beautiful already. So this, if you want to cook 3 minutes, 5 minutes, I think mostly after this, in 1 minute, 2 minutes, I'm done with every mixing, every cooking. I just take it out. So see, I've taken it off the oven. Now I'm transferring it into a plate. Can you see this goodness? Woo! See this. Oh, you need to see the way the whole house is just smelling. The aroma is out of this world. So whatever, you can use this to eat boiled plantain, fufu, bread, potato, even what's it called? Your mashed potatoes. You can use it to eat it. Whatever you like to eat it. Just enjoy. Thank you.